I've been, just a little bit while back, I was reading Nehemiah. And it's always fun to come across, hey, I know that verse. It's, one of our packet verses and stuff like that. And it's just, encouraging. But sometimes we don't always really think about, these verses and really try to apply them. We just memorize them and push on through to the next one. So I've been just trying to figure out, I had all these random thoughts here, there, and it's like, I just couldn't get them to pull together, And so I was working on it last night, and afterwards I said, Lord, what do I tell these people? Most of, so many of you have way more Bible training than, well, I have none. So you have more than I have, So, what can I share with these people? And it was funny because he said, from the beginning of time, mankind has been a little slow on the uptake, so just tell it to them again. So, okay, I can do that. So anyway, we all know Nehemiah 4:6. I think if we tried, we could say it together, couldn't we? So built we the wall. Had mind to work. Good job. Well, we look at Nehemiah, and he wasn't a priest, he wasn't a prophet. He was a layman. Well, according to, as far as the Bible scholar and stuff, which is kind of like where most of us fall into. We're laymen. He did some great things. So I was looking in. Let me get calmed down a little bit here. I don't know why I get nervous, but I do. So, in chapter 2 of Nehemiah, it says, in the month of Nisan, in the 20th year of King Artaxerxes, when wine was brought for him, I took the wine and gave it to the king. I had not been sad in his presence before, so the king asked me, why does your face look so sad when you are not ill? This can be nothing but sadness of heart. Nehemiah had a relationship with the king. For the king to be able to, see his face and said, I've never seen you sad, he could see in his face he was sad. He knew him intimately. He knew him well. And I was wondering, how many of us know our king that well? He knows us. He knows our every being. But how many of us have developed a relationship that we, come into the presence of God, he's going to say, you look sad today. Are we spending enough time with him that he can tell by looking at our face, what is the problem? Why are you sad? Nehemiah had a job and serving the king, and he got word that there was a need in Jerusalem, his home country, Judah and Jerusalem, and he was willing to leave a job that it was a very respectful position that he had, and he was willing to leave that and go to Jerusalem and do manual labor. And sometimes that's a little hard for some of us to do. It's like, I really don't want to get dirt under my fingernails, and I like people looking up to me and respecting me and that type of thing. So he left a very influential position in the king's court there. If we move on to the last part of verse 2, it says, I was very much afraid. He hadn't, he respected the king, but yet he was fearful. Well, how many of us, we can approach our king. We don't have to be afraid, but sometimes we're just afraid to ask him some things, But it wasn't just I think sometimes it's not just a fear, but it's a respectful fear of this man. So, like I said, while serving as the governor of Canaan, he found out that the Jewish remnant that survived the exile were back in Jerusalem, and they were in great danger. And that the wall had been torn down. The wall of protection around Jerusalem was gone. It was really, and it had been, a lot of destruction there. He he knew his people. He studied and knew the word, and he loved his people. He loved his fellow kinsmen, and he feared for their safety. And he was a man of prayer. And he felt that the Lord was telling him, I want you to go. I want you to go. I want you to help your people. I want you to restore the wall. I want you to restore Jerusalem. So, as Christians, we too are to be concerned for others. We're to be concerned about the lost in this world, because they too are in danger. And when they lose their lives, they're losing eternity. We need to be concerned, and we need to love our fellow man enough to step up, go out and share, and be concerned enough to go out and help them, which I think is why most of us are here, aren't we? We are to go out and rebuild the wall. We're not building a wall around Jerusalem. We're building a wall of saved sinners that will be in heaven with us, and that's what our wall will be, just hand in hand, serving the Lord. So in chapter 2, he approaches the king, and the king says, what is it you want? He says, I want to go to Jerusalem. So he said, and I would also like you to help me get there safely. And I would also like you to give me permission to get the lumber that I need to build this wall. So he went boldly to the throne, as we can go boldly to the throne. And he got exactly what he asked for. So let's look at, let's see. I lost my place, and I apologize. Let me backtrack a little bit because I lost my place. When he said he was very much afraid, he respected the king, and we can approach our king. But I see, that's why I said I had random thoughts. Now I got to try to get them back together again. I thought I did, but as a body of Christians, not here, but overall, we have brought God down to a human level. How many of us, have seen it? We don't have the respect for who God is. God is almighty. God is all-powerful. He's my God. He's not my equal. And I think we need to be there. That creates that respectful fear. It's not I'm afraid, cowering, but there's this. He's so awesome that I just have this respectful fear for him. But yet I know I can go boldly to him and ask what I desire, I am afraid to do this, Lord, and he tells me, go do it, And I may not always do it to the standards of some people, but God's happy, so I'm happy, So if we look at Nehemiah 4:6, so built we the wall, and all the wall is joined together unto the half thereof. And why? Because the people had a mind to work. And I don't think it means just, everybody, let's go work. We like to work. No, the people wanted to. You see it in Acts. You see it throughout the Bible. They are of one mind, in one accord. If we work in one accord, look how much we can accomplish. It's not this denomination fighting that denomination, and my way is better than your way. No, we agree to work together for one cause, and that's to further the kingdom of the Lord. And then I had it, it's gone. Whatever my thought was, is totally. The other thing is, with the people had a mind to work, and then I think if you read on, it talks about how there's an enemy. We're not just going to go build a wall and have a good time. there was an enemy, and they wanted to destroy the Jews. They wanted to destroy the city. Let me read chapter 4, 8 through 12. Let's just start at 7. But when Sanballat, Tobiah, and the Arabs and the Amorites and the men of Ashdod heard that the repairs to Jerusalem's wall had gone ahead and that the gaps were being closed, they were angry. They all plotted together to come and fight against Jerusalem, to stir up trouble against it. But we prayed to our God and posted a guard day and night to meet this threat. Meanwhile, the people in Judah said, "The strength of the laborers is giving out, and there is so much rubble that we cannot rebuild the wall." Also, our enemies said, before they know it or see us, we will be right there among them and will kill them and put an end to the work. Then the Jews who lived near them and told us 10 times over, "Wherever you turn, they will attack us." Does it sound familiar? Does it sound like someone we know that's out there to destroy us? Satan's out there, and he doesn't want us to be successful. He wants us to be defeated, and he is there. And when it said, before they know it, we're going to be among them and killing them. And when the kids were little, there used to be this little ditty thing that, they would say, the devil is a sly old fox. And he wants to get in there, and he just wants to destroy us. What are some of the things that he's sneaky, he gets in there. What are some of the things that he uses to try to defeat us? I think of fear. We're afraid to get up. We all know each other. We're still afraid to get up here and talk to one another, aren't we? So he uses fear. He uses doubt. They know more than I do. Because we doubt ourselves. He uses discouragement. He uses anything that's special to us. He uses our kids. Because, you pray for your kids, and you pray for your kids, and then it's like, okay, Lord, you didn't answer that prayer the way I wanted that prayer answered, and I have a child that's lost, and I'm not seeing any change, but you can get discouraged. But, I have God's timing. It's perfect timing, not my timing. And I know in my heart that we raised our kids the best we could, and we raised them to know the Lord, and His word is hidden in their heart, and that's another promise that we have. And His word will not return void. So, when there's discouragement, when there's fear, when there's doubt, we just go right back to that loving King that we have, and He will encourage us and give us the strength and take away most of our fear. Because I'm still a little nervous up here. But He is with us, and He will guide us. Let's go down to 16. From that day on, half of my men did the work, while the other half were equipped with spears, shields, bows, and armor. The officers posted themselves behind all the people of Judah who were building the wall. Those who carried materials did the work with one hand and held a weapon in the other. And each of the builders wore his sword at his side as he worked. That's another familiar story from the New Testament, isn't it? Our shield, our sword. I can just picture these guys, carrying let's say they are carrying, their brick, and they've got a sword in their hand. What are we supposed to be doing? We're building our wall, and we have to have that sword in our hand. Or we need to have our sword. We have to have it in our hand, or we need to have it at our side. Because the enemy is out there to defeat us. So, I wanted to encourage you guys, because it is a fight. And I thought, we take this little tiny verse. This seems a little obscure. Our kids used to love us on a team. So build we the wall, and all the wall was joined together because, we all worked together. We did this. But there's so much more to it. We can accomplish so much more working together. And the enemy is out there to hinder us. But if we stick together, we lift one another up, we pray for one another, we encourage one another, we can do this. Thank you.